Welcome back to Nerd Initiative and the TARDIS. My name's Off the Cuff Tom. It's time for a little Who in review. That's right, we're talking about Season 2, Episode 4, Lucky Day. Written by Peter McTeague and directed by Peter Hoare. This is a great episode that's in Doctor Who, but it's not necessarily about the Doctor. It's a very different take. We definitely see, as the Doctor and Belinda are still trying to use the Vindicator to pinpoint when they get back home. They do make it back to Earth, just the wrong year. They meet a nice young man who's completely just uh, gobsmacked about this weird thing that shows up in a Belinda Chandra, of all things. We jump ahead about 20 years and we're back to Ruby Sunday. Like, how awesome is that? Everybody loves a good Ruby Sunday. And this episode really focuses in on Ruby. Now, the young man that we talked about from 20 years ago is now a podcaster, journalist, conspiracy theorist who meets Ruby and they start chatting and they start doing a little chatting up and getting a cup of coffee because you know what happens when you get a cup of coffee. And they start becoming a thing. And I like this. It's cute. We're finally getting some closure on Ruby Sunday because a lot of times, yes, we have some closure with certain, companions and others we don't. One's out floating in a diner in space. Another one, if they remember the Doctor could have died, but they had a kid and it was okay. Another one's in another dimension. Like, has anybody even pushed the Austin Hagen key lately or even just checked on it? But this was a great episode. So, long story short, this dude completely plays Ruby just for internet clout. He's a very, I'm trying to pick my words here, shock jock, if you're old like me, trying to play to people's insecurities. Um, he involves Unit, and it just all goes to pot. Um, it is a great episode. I'm not saying that the episode all goes to pot, but it's a great episode of how this dude is using and abusing social media for his own gains, as it is. They always say science fiction is a great allegory for what's going on in the real world. So I have to give this some credit the way that they've wrote this, and making it so topical to nowadays. So when it comes to Doctor Who Season 2, Episode 4, Lucky Day, me, Off the Cuff Tom, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. There's a few loopholes or a few, I wouldn't say inconsistencies, but there were definitely some, okay, well, you're starting here and then where your story's going, and it's not necessarily a story, it's where your characterization is going, that really felt flat to me. But I like the idea of how they were trying to build and build and build on this. Actually, you know what? Strike that. We're going to make it an 8.5. Why? Because we forgot to talk about the most other important person in this episode. It was Kate Stewart. Kate Stewart and Unit were back in this episode, and I got to give her some credit. I would have done the exact same thing she did, honest to goodness. Was it too far? Was it too much? I don't think so. If you remember back during Matt Smith's run, the word doctor in some cultures doesn't mean all good. It means warrior. And the Doctor's never been a warrior, but he does know how to weaponize. And it's not that he does it on purpose. He weaponized, his friends and companions become weaponized. And I think Kate is now the blunt tip of the spear with Unit. So kudos to her. And also having the picture of her father there on the desk too was just like, classic Who fans have to enjoy it. So all again, we're going to give this an 8.5. Simply one, going back to the boy toy, boyfriend, social media freak, who also apparently last time we saw him played Prince Eric in the live action Little Mermaid. So, how do you balance that out? And then with Kate just kicking ass and taking names, an 8.5 out of 10. Make sure to come back to Nerd Initiative for all your great TV reviews. And I'll catch you in the next one.